Where's that water at?
That's true.
Welcome back to the Mirror Nonsense podcast. To
Welcome
our
back. Where the fuck you been?
one or two listeners. Well, you see, Brad pissed me off. Yeah, going back to what he said in the beginning of the last episode. He said I was either ignoring him or I was sleeping. And I was actually doing both. But so I brought up, I think it was like that Tuesday. Yeah, that Tuesday I was just like, I brought up the fact that our friend had a poker night that Friday, and he's just like, yeah, I don't want to go. And then me still wanting to go, I was like, all right, but what if we do the podcast on Wednesday? I mean, Billy's not streaming, and then it's your day off, and then we all agreed to it. But I got on right after work, and we were all so hyped to have like a 5-man squad for Siege that we were just like, fuck it, we're just gonna play Siege. And it was probably the worst decision ever because we all got shit on right away, so there was just no happy ending that night. And then fucking Friday,
one after
fucking Friday, I actually worked that Friday. I normally don't, but I ended up having the previous Sunday off to go to Indiana. But Brad ends up messaging us in the group chat. He's like, hey, so what are you gonna do? Are we gonna do poker night or the podcast? And I didn't respond until pretty much the end of it, and or the end of my shift. And I called him. I was like, yo, let's do the podcast. I don't want to skip it anymore. And then he's like, I kind of want to go to the poker night. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? So we're just going back and forth. And then he asks me, he's like, do you want me to tell Jake I'm not going tonight? I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I'm like, you know what, dude? Just go.
All right.
And then I hang up, and then he fucking messages Billy in the group chat, and he's just like, all right, Billy, we're doing the podcast tonight. I'm like, what? So I'm like, no, we're not doing the fucking podcast now. But yeah, they went on. They had their little clans meeting for the podcast episode.
All right, to defend myself. So whenever we originally talked about it, I was like, I didn't want to go to the poker night because like poker nights are on Fridays, and like I work on Fridays and I have to work on Saturday, so I don't want to like go to a poker night. But then at the same time, I was like, but I like the poker night. I like playing with all my friends, So for Jake listening, I wanted to go to poker night. But for that one, Kara ended up being sick. So we decided to not go in general. And then me and Billy decided to do the podcast. But the conversation I had with Z is on whatever the fuck you said, Wednesday or whatever it was when we were deciding this, or Tuesday. And then like Wednesday, Jake told me that you were gonna bring Brian too, and I was like, okay, so we should probably do the poker night. So I add on like Wednesday or Thursday. I was like, okay, we'll do poker night. I'm sure Z will be cool with it. And then you called me, and they're like, no, we should do the podcast. I'm like, this motherfucker. Okay, well, now that I kind of want to do poker night, I mean, I'll do the I'll do the podcast. It's fine, but yeah, the Kara being sick is kind of what solidified it, anyways.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, I don't think there can ever be a really good friendship without having at least been pissed off at each other once.
Oh, all the time.
And it's happened multiple fucking times with us. I mean, we've been friends since 4th or 5th grade. One of those two. But, I mean, he's seen my dick around that time, too.
No, we didn't. For all legal intents and purposes, no, we didn't.
No, but I mean, like...
We weren't 18 until I saw Zuriel's dick.
Yeah, something like that.
Consensually.
No, but I mean, like on a serious note though, like, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to do the podcast in a shitty mood. So I mean, like the fact that you guys went through with it, I was like, that's fine. I mean, it's better than I guess skipping it and just not doing it altogether. But yeah, I mean, It's no big deal. I guess it happens, whatever. But we're back, baby, and yeah, yeah. I I saw this article that I showed to Brad or talked to Brad about where that last time we were talking about Ezra Miller, the couple that ended up getting a restraining order on him dropped it. Like
Paid off.
what? These fucking people, man. It's like they can't decide if he's a bad guy or not.
So I read nothing about that. I am assuming that they were paid off by either Ezra Miller or the DC, Warner Brothers, whatever, so they could keep him
Somebody
around
outside
without,
of court.
like, without that popping up, because they're not going to want to try to find another Flash or just throw out another series, Like, Flash could turn into, multiple movies and then multiple spin-offs and all of that. Like, Flash is a big story. And my guess is they got paid off so they can keep Ezra Miller, but I mean, why keep the fucking weirdo anyways if he's gonna do shit like this already?
Dude, Warner Bros is so fucking goofy because they drop Johnny Depp, they keep Amber Heard, and now this crazy shit with Ezra Miller. They're looking at their options that they have. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you have a psychopath playing one of your greatest superheroes ever, which let's rewind again, because we did talk about this last time, where that movie has been delayed multiple times. It's been like a good 5 years that it's been delayed, and now they got this fucking issue going on. Like, is there a possible chance that the Flash movie in itself is cursed, kind of like The Crow?
If I believed in that kind of shit, then yeah, definitely.
You don't believe in curses, Brad?
Well, okay, so kind of. I think that I just have shit fucking luck, if that counts.
Mm-hmm.
I am the unluckiest person you'll ever meet. In different circumstances, though. Like, I admit, like, I've drawn the high card in good situations, right? I'm not saying that my entire life has been
using Harpy deck.
Well, I'm not like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that I've had bad luck my entire life, but if I ever vote for anybody in the fucking Super Bowl, I am always wrong. I could vote for Tom Brady in his prime, and that's the one Super Bowl that Tom Brady's gonna lose. It's because I voted for them that they lost.
I mean, you could have voted for him the
man.
times before, and you would have won it. But you didn't want to because you just didn't like the guy.
Right. But I guarantee you, right? Let's rewind time. I go back and I vote for the Patriots to win when they actually did win, right? It's gonna change. Different timeline. I'm gonna live in the timeline where they lose.
Some crazy shit happens where, like, the coach gets run over the following year, and now they don't win any more Super Bowls just because you actually voted on the right team.
Right.
It opens up the multiverse.
I have Tim the Tatman's curse.
Speaking of multiverse,
I would have bet on fucking Peter Yan. Peter Yan lost.
That was very surprising and sad. Supposedly,
I didn't watch any of the fucking fight.
I didn't watch the fight either, but supposedly Aljamain Sterling was fucking destroying him on the ground game.
Yeah. So to rewind just for Billy, there's this guy, Aljamain Sterling. This is UFC. Aljamain Sterling, he fought for the championship, and he won because he was on his hands and knees.
He was on all fours.
And he was on all fours, and his opponent kneed him in his head.
And that's illegal. They have to be standing up to be able to get the knee on them. But the problem was they're in the heat of the moment, and this wasn't actually Peter Yan's like regular team, because at that time it was still, some pretty strict COVID rules, and he couldn't get his actual coaching team, like full team, with him. So in
his corner they're yelling, knee him, knee him, knee him. And even though I think it came out that Peter Yan like didn't agree with it, but he did it anyways because his team was yelling it.
Yeah. So that was
So
just super unfortunate circumstances for Peter, and then to find out that this second fight he actually lost, like, yeesh.
well, the
I
whole thing with Sterling was the ref was like, "Can you still like?" They could have still gone with the fight. You know, they could have just passed it off as like a nut shot and been like, "Hey, that's a big warning." But at first, after the knee, if I remember correctly, Aljamain Sterling seemed okay.
Oh yeah.
He seemed like he was all there, and he seemed like he could have got up. But then once they started talking to him, he started being like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can go on
Well,
anymore." And
this
that's when
was
they decided to call it for Aljamain Sterling. He
well,
won because his opponent fucked up.
yeah, that, but at the same time, this was right before we were able to get a crowd back into the fights. So you were actually able to hear, the judges and everyone talk, and that was kind of like the cue for Aljamain to, like, pretty
For
much,
him.
oh fuck, now I feel dizzy. Oh, you're saying I'm gonna win if I can't continue? Like,
Right.
that's what I mean. It's clear as day. That's how that fucking guy won. Um,
You can again, if I remember correctly, you can see the moment the switch flipped and it went, "Oh, I could be
Look,
the
that's a
champion."
shitty win, and the second win is all right. Whatever, it's fair and square, I guess. But I still feel like there should be a trilogy, just because of the
Yeah,
unfortunate
I agree.
circumstances of that first one. Even if Peter Yan were to win this second fight, I feel like there should still be a trilogy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, you said something about the multiverse.
yeah, we're coming up on probably like 3 more weeks until Doctor Strange comes out.
I'm excited.
I want to know now. I didn't even think this through for myself, so I might need a little bit of time too. Who knows? But is there a certain cameo you're expecting or want to see?
Deadpool. I think
That
this will be the start of Deadpool because he's supposed to be taking over for Stan Lee's um, cameos
gotcha. What about you, Billy?
outside of Deadpool.
I mean, Deadpool would be the one that I want to see because I was a fan of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
he was
would.
supposed to be taking over for Stan Lee's cameos, so that's pretty cool.
I would love to see, aside from Deadpool, another X-Men character. Just because in the trailer we heard Professor X's voice with
Yeah.
I guess that I'm assuming it's the Illuminati type of meeting or table, whatever that they're doing there. So
Yeah.
I would at the very least like to see another X-Men character, whether it's
Well,
from the Bryan Singer movies or the new First Class movies. I mean, I think I would love to see, honestly, just because I'm a huge Ian McKellen fan. I would love to see his Magneto back for a quick cameo, which I highly doubt would happen. I highly doubt it, but I would still, I'm still hoping for it.
so Multiverse of Madness brings up like a lot of speculation, obviously, especially now that we know that X-Men and Fantastic Four are supposed to be a part of the universe at some point. So the whole thing with Xavier being in there, like that's his voice. It's got to be,
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing about the Illuminati is it's Xavier. I think Reed Richards is on there too. Like in the 616 universe, I think that's Reed Richards. I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know shit about the comics, but this is just from different things I've watched. Um,
Yeah, from what I remember, it was Reed Richards. Like, again, I don't really read Marvel, so I wouldn't know. Reed Richards, Professor X, Doctor Strange,
Strange
and Tony
himself.
Stark.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones I know of.
So one of the speculations that people are talking about is this might be a reverse House of M, which is so Wanda, Scarlet Witch, is Magneto's daughter in the comics. And something
Spoiler
happened
alert.
again. I don't have all of it pieced together, but something happened where Wanda got rid of all mutants and um people are thinking this is going to be the reverse, where whatever she's going to do in this movie is going to create mutants. That's part of the reason why I don't think that we're going to get a Magneto, or at least they're going to have to retcon or make it so Magneto isn't Wanda's dad.
What if they do like a kind of like Wanda remembering, like a trip down memory lane?
They did.
What if they do
And
it again for the movie?
WandaVision, and it wasn't Magneto.
Nobody cares about WandaVision.
I guess they could make it where Ian McKellen is the older version of that, like he survived or something. But how they then make him a mutant, it'd be really hard. But the whole thing is Wanda's that powerful that she could probably create mutants. Then there's the do you think they're gonna actually show King the Conqueror in this one? I don't think he's gonna be the antagonist in this one at all.
No, it's way too early, and especially because
I think we get an end credit scene with him.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, it would make sense, but at the same time, no, I don't really see Doctor Strange being a big part of the grand scheme of things, I guess, new Avengers wise.
I think that he's gonna play a very important role in everything coming to fruition. So the mutants becoming a thing and the Fantastic Four coming in. So what they could realistically do is something's gonna happen with either Strange or Wanda where call it like the particle acceleration in Flash terms, right? Particle acceleration, accelerator explodes. You get mutants and Fantastic Four at the same time. Fantastic Four, quote unquote, mutants or metahumans, whatever they are going to want to call them, but they'll be mutants. But I think Doctor Strange is going to play a big part in that. I think that his villains are going to play a big part in that. Because I don't think evil Doctor Strange is going to be the main antagonist in this. I think he's going to play a part. Obviously, we've seen him already, but I don't think it's just him.
Yeah.
Why would they show him in the trailer for it to just be him? Marvel doesn't do that.
Yeah, no, there's something bigger behind this whole situation, which
I don't think it's going to be Kang though. Not yet.
So when you say, to clarify for me again, when you say reverse House of M, what do you mean?
If I remember correctly, House of M, again, something happened to Wanda where she eliminated all mutant powers. She flipped the switch, turned off the mutant powers.
I was just reading up, she lost her mind pretty much. And she ended up destroying the Avengers along with Vision. And something happened where Wanda found out that I think Quicksilver or someone else was trying to kill her, and she didn't want anything to do with her brother or Magneto anymore. So that's when she whispered, "No more mutants."
Yeah.
I can't really find like spark notes for this, but there was one person commenting, "I think this was the result of her mental instability reaching another peak after the previous major instance where she destroyed the Avengers with her hex magic. She wanted her relationship with Magneto and Pietro to be done, and by all extension, mutants to be done as well. No more mutants."
Yeah.
So
also, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I just want to clarify how that happened. So now you saying the reverse of it.
I'm thinking flip that, where whatever she does creates mutants. So remember one of the last episodes of WandaVision where she had that huge, like, had the town or whatever, and then there's like that big explosion of it like being released or whatever the fuck. Um, that might the reason why I think this is what's her name? The black chick, she became Photon,
Yeah.
right? Photon's the first mutant, I think. She created Photon with her thing because anyone who comes in and out of that changes.
Right.
Expand that to the rest of the world,
Right.
you can change. So even past the world, right? So the theory was, and these are all overblown, but the theory was when that happened, it went all the way up to the space station. Who's in the space station? Reed Richards, the Thing, all those guys are up there in space during when that happened. So the whole shit from the Fantastic Four that we know, where I forget what actually happened. There's like a space storm or some shit. Whatever happened then, like this is why I'm talking about like the Flash, because the Flash was struck by lightning when the particle accelerator blew up. Similar situation. Whatever they are doing at that time gives them those kind of powers. So Reed Richards and all that doing all that shit, and then take the rest of the world. That's hitting the rest of the planet. Some people are affected, some people aren't.
What if they pull a WandaVision thing where like she already had the mutants gone? Like somehow. I don't know. Like they were already there to begin with.
And she awakened their powers.
Something like that. Or she or with the help of Doctor Strange, she snaps out of it or some shit. Cuz like I mean, spoiler warning if anyone hasn't seen WandaVision, by the end of
Yep,
WandaVision, she's learning that chaos book, whatever it was. I think it was the chaos book. And then she hears her kids' names. So we just assumed that they were gone once she let go of that whole community.
Right.
But then hearing their voices, so what if the X-Men or all the mutants or whatever are kind of like hidden in some sort of astral realm or some shit like that, and they're like crying out for help so like they can escape out of that,
Or it's literally the multiverse. There's a world where the mutants exist. Universes collide, which is what we're seeing. Even in
Right.
Spider-Man, we're seeing the universes colliding. Do we know where Spider-Man takes place in terms of Loki? No, correct?
No. No, we do
Billy,
not.
you saw Loki?
Yeah, I saw Loki.
So people actually did the timing on this. When the episode starts for Wanda and her power or whatever releasing, like that little explosion I was talking about, and the multiverse opening up in Loki, people timed it. Those happened at the exact same time in both episodes. So call it 23 minutes and 56 seconds in. Both happen at the exact same time.
Right.
So people think those are going to correlate. It could be that happens. Mutants flood in from a different universe, whatever. I don't know. I just hope Marvel doesn't fuck it up, but I'm excited for it.
Right. I mean, this is aside from Spider-Man, this was pretty much like the next big movie. And then
Yeah,
I
and
think
Spider-Man was
Thor's supposed to come out
big.
next.
Love and Thunder, yeah.
It's
November.
probably, November. That one's gonna be interesting too. Like we haven't gotten anything on Thor. Like
No.
we've only gotten
what-
pictures on the set, like fucking big ass arms Thor in a tank top, and that's it pretty much.
The only things we know about Thor is
Oh, actually,
Jane's gonna be in it,
yeah.
and she's gonna be She-Thor.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they just recently, within this past week, posted a picture of Gore. Gore the God Butcher, which is being played by Christian Bale.
I'm excited for that. Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Gore is the symbiote guy, not the
No.
symbiote himself.
No.
Gore was given the
The weapon.
weapon Null
Yes. I don't think
that
it was
from
given. I
Null.
think he took it
Or well,
from him.
yeah, I don't know. I just know that he has
But yeah,
Null's
that's a
sword.
huge that's a huge connection to the symbiote verse. If that's what we're gonna
and
call
it's
it,
a
whatever.
symbiote. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
symbiote. I think it's a symbiote weapon.
Yeah. It is one of the few weapons that just made Thor look like a bitch, pretty much. Um, I mean,
I'm on power scaling TikTok. Like I get so many TikToks of people like who would win in this fight, and like usually it's like Thor's up there and all this shit. Like what I have learned is Sonic the Hedgehog, like solos universes for some reason, and Wally West solos universes. Wally West makes
Sweet.
sense. Wally West is fucking powerful, but Sonic is a pretty funny one. But
I mean,
Thor's usually up there because Thor's had so many forms where he's like, you know, consumed gods or some shit. Like he's one of the strongest guys.
I've always liked the artwork for King Thor. He just looks a lot like his father Odin, and it suits him fucking perfectly. Like got the eye
It was
patch
kind
and
of
everything.
sad when they fixed Thor in the movie, so he had like both of his eyes or whatever. Because they did that, right? Where they gave him another eye.
Yeah, I was really hoping that they would keep the eye patch, but
I like the eye patch. I
yeah,
was surprised when they took the eye out and it was brutal. Like that
yeah,
coming from a Marvel movie, like it wasn't gory or anything, but it's still scary, I guess, right? You show
right,
that to
yeah.
a kid, it could
They
have been
normally
scared.
don't show something like that. Yeah, that was
Speaking of, well, be gore, right?
right.
But not the guy, but like blood. In Moon Knight, there's a really bloody scene. You know what I'm talking about, Billy? You remember that?
which
Remember when he
one? There
wake
are a couple of them.
remember when he wakes up for like the first time and he's in a different place and there's just all the dead bodies around him? Like there's blood splattered all over the place in Moon Knight. It's like, oh Jesus
That happens a
Christ, dude.
couple of times. Like, it also happens when he's in the van
Yeah, that's true.
and he
Oh
wakes up
yeah.
and he's got the gun in his hand. He's like, ah! He throws the gun up.
You gotta watch Moon Knight Z. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I definitely will. Right now, lately, I've just been really slow on TV, and I'm watching Fire Force. I'm pretty much watching like 1 or 2 episodes at a time right now. I'm really slow with TV right now for whatever reason, but
Fire Force is good.
just hearing something like that for Moon Knight, it gives me hope for when Punisher comes back, because John Bernthal, he meant like my favorite version of this Punisher so far was only in Daredevil season 2. I mean, his 2 seasons of the Punisher solo show they were all right, but it didn't seem like the Punisher, honestly, to me. But I just just hearing all that violence and stuff, and then on top of that, like rated R stuff going into Disney Plus, it just gives me hope for when Punisher comes back, as well as Daredevil.
Yeah, them splitting up or like having the filter option for more adult rated stuff on Disney Plus, like that's a huge step.
Oh yeah.
That opens up to a lot more, because God forbid they do something with Deadpool 3 and it's not rated R.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure, like, no matter how far they would like try to, I don't know, do it their way, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds would have a major say in it, because I mean, he made it. He made it
his
like
character.
yeah, he pretty much made the character what it is right now in those movies. So I mean, he's
Cinematically, yeah.
yeah.
Can you believe that there are people that don't like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool?
That surprises me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because people can have their opinions, but that surprises me just in the sheer fact that Ryan Reynolds to me is like perfect Deadpool. Like I can't picture anyone else I'd rather have.
Like
Might be biased, but I don't know.
the term "fuck me sideways" I literally got from him, not from Deadpool either. This was what? When did Blade Trinity come out? That was what, 2005, 2006 maybe. Triple H was in
Somewhere
that
around there.
movie too. But Ryan
2004.
Reynolds, that was when I was introduced to Ryan Reynolds as an actor, and he played a
Hannibal.
character called Hannibal, and that was pretty much Deadpool, in just like regular human form, like vampire hunter form, and from that moment on, that was also around the time when I had just like pretty much finished playing the two X-Men Legends games, and both of them, I believe. No, I think it was just the second one. The second one had Deadpool after you beat the game. And I didn't know who Deadpool was until that game. And when I started using it, I was like, holy shit, this dude's OP. And I'm like, holy shit, this dude has a regenerative power like Wolverine. Holy fuck. And then the way he's talking. And then just seeing Ryan Reynolds talk the way he did as Hannibal, I was like, dude, this guy. So seeing him play Wade Wilson in that Wolverine movie, I was like, okay, I could see that. And the fact that it actually came to light with him sticking as that character, that's awesome. But
In
I
that
still
game,
can't believe that they shut him up in that movie.
I mean, you and everyone else, honestly.
Well, okay, so a couple things. First off, like in that game, did you fight Deadpool on? It was like the top of some nuclear reactor. I remember an X-Men game where we did that. I don't.
That was probably the
what it was.
Wolverine game.
That's the movie too, though.
Yeah, that's from the movie, so it was probably from the Wolverine game.
But for the movie, like apparently it was part of the lore that they tried to shut Deadpool up because he kept talking by sewing his mouth shut.
I don't
Yeah,
doubt
So
it.
his regenerative ability actually closed his mouth up.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't doubt it, but it was still a bad move on their part, and they've been shit on for years. I think
as they should.
before the subreddit Free Folk started shitting on Game of Thrones to this day, I think it was the whole fan base of Deadpool shitting on X-Men or Wolverine X-Men Origins or whatever that movie was called.
Speaking
that was
of
like OG of shitting on
subreddits, and this is a tangent, so if you guys have anything you want to say about the current point we're on.
Go ahead.
Go for it, baby grill.
I was introduced to probably the strangest subreddit I've ever been introduced to.
I could probably find a weirder one. Well, go ahead.
I don't use Reddit much, right? But apparently there's a Reddit for like old women. It's pictures of old women and like baked goods, you know, like a pie or something. But
Okay.
the title is a description of like it was a porno. So like one of them
Okay.
is, you know, Margaret shows off her slit and it's a cherry pie and a slit in the middle. It's
Amazing.
or like, you know, Ruth enjoys her cream pies and it's like a really big fucking cream pie and she's so happy that she's baked it. It's like,
That-
what the
That
fuck?
reminds me two things. But go ahead, Brad.
No, I'm just trying to think of like other ones.
Okay,
Like there's bread.
so-
There's bread stapled to trees.
I love
That's a
that
fun one.
It's so stupid. My introduction to Reddit was through Brad back in the day when Reddit 50/50 was a thing. So- The first thing the only thing I remember was the title, a picture of bunnies or POV of the toilet, whatever, guy shitting in the toilet, and it was the guy shitting in the toilet.
Of course.
Like, that was fucking weird.
I feel like when I first introduced you to 50/50, that there wasn't an algorithm. I think it was just whatever they decided to put on. But I'm
Right.
pretty sure now the way they have it programmed is it is a true coin flip of there are two options and it's going to coin flip to whichever one.
Gotcha.
But 50/50 is fucked up.
And then, you know, years later, I ended up showing you, what is it called? Fucking Scary
Scary Bilbo?
Yeah.
Billy, you might not know this. Go to Reddit/Scary Bilbo and search by top of all time.
Oh, God. All time.
Because that'll show the funniest ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what fucking Scary Bilbo's put in the last year. I haven't looked.
Years.
First link, Scary Bilbo porn.
Huh?
The first link on Google is Scary Bilbo.
Scary Bilbo
Just do
porn.
it on Reddit. Just do it on
Yeah,
Reddit.
just go on
Go to
Reddit.
Reddit itself
And
and,
then look
type
for the
in
subreddit.
Scary
Yeah.
Bilbo, like Bilbo Baggins.
That was
So
fucking amazing.
also where that subreddit stems from, since I'm not going to show our audience the rated R shit on there, it stems from that scene from at Fellowship of the Ring, right?
Yeah.
When he's going to give Frodo the ring, or he comes back and he sees Frodo with the ring,
He's just helping
and
Frodo
his
put his
eyes
yeah.
become all gremlin-y, and right? Take that screenshot and just put it on, like, I don't know, naked old ladies or some shit.
Billy, did you see Lord of the Rings as a kid?
Of course.
Did that scene scare the shit out of you? It scared the shit out of me. That was around the time where I was still afraid of the movie Leprechaun, and that shit reminded me of it.
Yeah.
So like
That
as soon as I
scared
saw it, I was
me.
like, oh fuck.
But also
See, I
the
don't-
ring wraith scared me when I first saw that. Like, they were creepy.
Yeah,
Like
they
them
were
stabbing
really
the
creepy,
fucking
yeah.
beds. Like, they did such a good job at making me feel nervous.
Yeah. Those ring wraiths were awesome.
You find anything you like yet, Billy?
I don't know
the
yet.
first one.
I want to
You
look
got
through all-
material for later?
Oh yeah, plenty of material.
I'm trying.
You know, your arm's moving a little bit too much there. What
Both of them. Gotta work overtime.
Left hand on the Bible. Oh, man.
I love those videos of like people on Omegle, and all you see is like below the waist, and you see them
Oh, yeah.
going like this, and then they lift up and they're just like cleaning dishes or something.
Right. Dude,
Uh,
Omegle was wild. Now
there's,
that's a real 50-50.
Yeah. There's another one. There's this guy. He's actually gotten pretty popular. He dresses up like a woman and looks just like a woman. He's recently got prosthetic breasts, so he looks like a woman. He does his nails. He does his like makeup, whatever. Looks like an actual girl. Like could trick 90% of men, right?
Mhm.
And there is one video of him where he goes on Omegle and he goes up to another quote unquote girl, right? And they're looking at each other like dead silent once the Omegle thing goes. Bro, why are you so fucking ugly? And like both of them just start laughing.
Oh my god.
And
I love
but this
those.
dude, like, so he was on one of the podcasts I listened to. 100% straight, supposedly. Does it just for views, started doing it as a gag, and then just kept doing it because his fans find it hilarious. He'll dress
Hmm.
up in maid outfits, he'll do whatever the fuck. Somehow says he's 100% straight.
Well, I mean, I believe it. Look at Prince. Dude looked as flamboyant as possible, and supposedly dude was a homophobe.
I was say, was Prince straight? I don't even know.
He was straight, like an actual
Oh
homophobe.
no. What did you send? Oh. Old ladies baking pies.
I love
Um
that.
that's interesting. Yeah, I never knew that about Prince.
Yeah, I never really
Um
cared about it, but that was the only thing I took from a random piece of, I don't know, info on him.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Fuck Prince. Mere Nonsense hates Prince.
Prince die like 2000 something.
I don't know. I mean, he had to have died in the 2000s, Billy.
Yeah, no, he did because he did
2016.
do the Super Bowl when we were in high school, I think.
I was say I feel like it's
2016.
recent-ish. Like, yeah, I was gonna say like last 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that
Um,
Super Bowl. It was fucking weird.
I hate Super Bowl halftime shows. Like even this last one, it was just like kind of like I mean I
even
like
the,
Eminem, I like Snoop Dogg, I like Dre. You know,
even the
I think Kendrick
commercials.
was in there. I like Kendrick.
Even the commercials, like
He sucked.
Commercials have been like going downhill since
it's been going downhill for a while.
since high school.
All right, hold on.
Probably.
2023 Super Bowl predictions. Someone a little bit older that used to be famous in the early 2000s is gonna perform. and Will Smith is going to go up and slap them, and they're going to blow up in views.
He's gonna slap the shark that didn't know how to dance at Katy Perry's halftime show.
Left shark, best shark.
Keep Katy Perry's name out your
Out your
motherfucking mouth.
mouth.
Oh my god, dude! What a wild time, I guess. People really care about that slap.
Yeah, and I guess Will is now banned from the Oscars for 10 years.
But he could still win an Oscar.
He can win an Oscar.
Yeah, imagine that. Like
Imagine James
next
going
year-
So
up and
you
picking
literally
it
did
up.
nothing. Good job.
next year, he makes another really good movie and he gets an Oscar, and they're just like, oh, well, anyway.
I bet he's looking for it now. Where he's like,
Rock, do you
fucking
want
sign me to
to
something.
come up here and take this Oscar for him and say something for him?
Oh my god.
No, dude. Like,
It's a dying,
many-
dying industry, and they fucking know it. And I still think it's staged so they can,
Look,
pull more numbers.
so aside from comic book movies, I was watching what's it called? I was watching The Patriot last week. I think it was last week. No, 2 weekends ago when I ended up going to Indiana. I ended up watching The Patriot for the first time. Mel Gibson's in it. And I was just like thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, there used to be some, I wouldn't say wild, but like there used to be variety of movies compared to now. Whereas like right now it's, I want to say 50% superhero or is something super, I guess. And then the other 50% is just, I don't know, either a fucking goofy ass Martin Scorsese film or.
I have nothing to back this up, but I feel like you could probably say that about every generation. I think our generation is Marvel movies, superhero movies. Rewind 15, 20 years ago is probably rom-coms. Those were huge back in the fucking day, Reverse another 10, 15 years, 20 years, whatever behind that, probably war movies, a lot of war movies, gangster movies, Western movies, I feel like each generation has its like popular thing, but that's because each
they
generation
absolutely
has
do.
had one movie that's popped off, and then they build off of that.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do, because they had westerns for a long time, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And then they had so many gangster movies in the 80s and 90s. Fucking ridiculous. And then came the or maybe even earlier than that, I don't know. And then came like just the Schwarzenegger action movies, Stallone, Bruce Willis, all those people. And yeah, there is that decade that has this certain type of movie. I mean, I don't know though. This next decade seems very, I don't know.
Oh, futuristic movies too. There was a whole decade of, Back to the Future. What's the? I can only think of the number 2049, but what's the original?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, right? Those type of movies. Same vein, Terminator. But yeah, sorry, I'm just adding to that.
Yeah, sci-fi was always tricky though. Like, it was really hard to make a good story with some crazy situation. Like, there's Star Wars. And Star Wars had a pretty good story. Blade Runner, yeah, that one had a pretty good story. I'm trying to think of a bad sci-fi movie around.
But also Star Wars is it's a fantasy sci-fi. Fantasy sci-fi. It is literally knights and castles and stuff, but futuristic.
Yeah.
bad sci-fi film. I mean, whenever I think bad sci-fi film, the first thing that comes to mind is Doom. When they tried making Doom.
Yeah, but that's modern though. I'm trying to think of like 90s or before.
I mean, that's also tough because what people like back then, we would probably not like as much now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So we just have a. I mean, look at movies that don't suck.
No, fuck. That's actually a good one.
Starship Troopers. Yeah, people love Starship Troopers.
That's more
like,
of a
think
cult
of think of
following,
like
though,
movies
no?
that don't suck.
That's
People
more of a-
used to hate on sci-fi movies, and now people kind of like you just said, it's a cult following. People like
Yeah.
those kind of movies now. But that's because it has like a nostalgic feel to it. Like Toxic Avengers, people fucking hated Toxic Avenger. I like that fucking movie.
I fucking hate it.
No, you didn't. You want to
Yeah, I
watch the
did.
rest of them?
No, I
you
don't.
didn't.
I sat there and watched that first one for the sake of you and Charlie wanting to watch it for the longest time. And after that, I'm like, okay, I don't need to watch the rest of the fucking series because I don't want to.
Billy, this second, while we're on the podcast, go watch Toxic Avenger. It's one of the best
right
movies you'll
now.
ever see.
Actually, what we should also do, Billy, have you seen Event Horizon? We should have a watch party for that.
I do want to watch Event Horizon. I've never seen it.
Because Event Horizon was pretty much like the thing that gave inspiration to the Dead Space games.
Dead Space.
That looks familiar.
I've never seen it. Never
the
even seen a
the
screenshot
one that
of it.
came out, the theatrical version that came out, supposedly is not the director's cut. It's not what the director envisioned, and supposedly they had lots. No, this is just take it as you will. Lots of lost footage, I guess, that supposedly made the movie bloodier and scarier than it already was. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't mean anything if you can't fucking bring it to light.
It's true.
Tell me why the Toxic Avenger looks like something out of fucking Goosebumps.
Because it
feels like
probably
it
is. Okay, when's the last time, though? When's the last time you've seen such a crazy transition in a movie series? Like, the first Terminator, it was really loved. And I don't know if you want to... I don't know what you want to consider that type of movie aside from sci-fi. Maybe a thriller, I don't know. But the fact that, Schwarzenegger was a bad guy going after Sarah Connor. I kind of wish I saw these movies like being as an adult instead of growing up with them, just because it didn't hit me up until recently how fucking nuts that is. That first movie, a bad guy, everyone fucking loved it. And then the second one comes out and John Connor is with Schwarzenegger's Terminator in the fucking elevator, and his mom sees him while running away from the T-1000. She sees Schwarzenegger and she's just like, she doesn't know he's a good guy yet. So she's like, oh fuck, I'm screwed. And she's running back and she finds herself in between the T-1000 and Terminator's I forgot what fucking one it was.
800 or something.
And then he says, get down, and shoots at the T-1000. Like, just thinking about that recently, like, holy fuck, what a great transition. Going from being a bad guy in the first movie to being the coolest fucking hero ever in the second one.
I would like to argue that Kylo Ren became Jedi.
Fucking Kylo Ren. Oh my god, don't give me bad memories of those movies, man. I mean, they already are bad memories, but still.
I'm not gonna like, this isn't a movie or anything, but this is also a similar kind of cool thing. You don't watch Dragon Ball Super Z. So remember when we went to watch the movie where they beat Gold Frieza?
Yes.
So there was a Universal Tournament arc where the universe that we know is Universe 7.
Yeah.
out of like 12 universes or something that all fought in it. They're all fighting each other, all this shit. But one of the universes has this super fucking powerful guy, and like they're trying to prep for this, and they're like, "Who do we bring? Like, who's Earth's strongest or whatever? Our universe's strongest." They bring Frieza. Goku goes down to hell, and that's actually a funny thing in and of itself. Frieza's surrounded by like all these cute little things dancing around and singing.
yeah.
He's just like it's his personal hell, right?
Mhm.
So he goes down to hell and he strikes a deal with Frieza. He's like, "You're never getting out of here, but this gives you a chance to get out of here for a little bit. So come with us." They fight, and Frieza ends up fighting side by side with them, not as like a good guy, right? But as an ally for the time being. Frieza doesn't turn on them or anything, and it's just cool seeing Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza, who are all sworn enemies together, all fighting together to fight the big bad in this other universe. It's actually really cool.
You love to see a team
Fix
up
your
like
mic.
that.
Fix my mic?
Yeah.
Hello?
There we go.
There you go. All right.
Fuck. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know
It
either.
just like cut right before you went into Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because
Z.
I didn't tip my mic at all. strange.
Interesting.
It becomes loose at the bottom because there's a cord that hits the bottom of the mic,
Yeah.
and now it's
That's the
like,
Blue Yeti,
kind of
right?
loose.
And then Billy, what do you have?
Blue Yeti.
No. See, I had a really bad one. I guess Brad's is kind of glitchy. I don't know.
Well-
So far,
Mine's the cord. I found that out.
okay.
The cord, I guess, gets loose because it's I don't want to touch it anymore, but it's sitting. Mic, there's a thing connecting it, and it's sitting here, but the cord sticks up in the bottom, and then it goes through a little loop or like a little hump that's underneath the stand, and
Yeah.
the cord is able to slide through there. But I think if it's just sitting there, it just wiggles out eventually. So I might have to figure out some way to maybe get a mic stand like that, because that, I'm assuming, Billy, that's it clamps onto your desk on both sides, and it's kind of like an arm, right?
That's how mine
Yeah.
is.
It's got a little desk lamp that it just like sits in, and then it's got another, like, I could take it out, but it's got another thing that like moves into the thing that's holding it, and then I can
How much was that?
shoot, I ordered it.
They're relatively cheap, honestly.
Because I'm assuming this comes out pretty easy. Because it looks like that's just a screw.
Yeah, I don't use the mic stand that they gave me. I used to use it a lot, and then once I got my desk stand, it was just a lot easier.
My only problem with doing that is going to be I switch my setup a lot between here and the living room.
Yeah.
So I'd have to move that every time, and that could be an issue in the living room.
Yeah, you just need
I
a
don't know.
whole room dedicated to your setups. You could have like one corner for your work, one corner for your
Jerking off.
entertainment. Yeah, jerking off, and then the
Entertainment,
other
same
corner
thing, yep, that's what I thought.
for Kara's stuff. I always
Yeah,
thought
and
those setups were cool. Whenever people can make them happen, just like one whole room, just dedicated to your streaming, your
What do you
work
mean?
from home,
I have-
stuff like that.
I have my streaming, I have my work, and I have my whatever all right here, my gaming and entertainment. I have my bed right here. I even have my laundry right here.
Yeah, I've actually been throwing my microphone in the laundry as well. It's been
Yeah,
cleaning
And
it
you're
up
not sending
pretty
us
good.
both.
that's
Spilled
why
coffee on
that's
it.
why I sound a lot more crisp. I really do want to fucking move out and get a house.
Yeah, don't we all?
House
Don't we
market
all,
has
Billy?
been really shitty. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, man, trying to move out and get in a house, man.
Fuck you, Billy.
You trying to? Like right now?
You trying to?
Right now? You wanna? You finna?
No, we're still filming, Billy.
Shit.
This is like personal hours. This is where we can start talking about shit. No one's
Yeah,
listening
right.
at this point.
For real.
Let's say
Falling
some stuff
asleep.
that'll get us canceled in 10 years.
10 years.
In
Why wait 10 years?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So I'm gonna say something that's gonna get us canceled in 10 years.
Well,
Okay.
get us canceled
Fuck.
tomorrow.
Fuck aliens. Yeah, I said it. I hate aliens.
Yeah, illegal aliens.
Wait a second.
Yeah, like the ones that come from Mars.
Mars.
Yeah, the illegal ones.
You know,
They didn't
come
get their
down to
Galactic
proper
Federation card.
documentation.
No Galactic Federation cards. No nothing.
No.
I like how that card still starts with green.
That's still starting.
or G, I mean.
It starts with
Same
green. It's
difference.
the green Galactic.
Words are
Galactic green cards.
Words are hard.
hard. Words
I
are
think we're
hard.
derailing a little too hard.
Did you guys? So, I don't know whatever happened to you guys, but like back when I was in high school or middle school, and I would try to pull an all-nighter while playing video games with people. At some point, probably like, I don't know, maybe like 1 a.m, I would get super giddy. Like, I would just laugh at everything, no matter what.
Even happy.
Even if I was just like losing at the game or what, I was just laughing at everything. Like nothing was gonna bring me down.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what would happen to me if I stayed up long enough.
So I think that's an actual thing. Like, I mean, that's exactly what slap happy is, you know?
Yeah.
It's just from being just like, it's like a response to being exhausted. It's, I don't know. Even if you're not like actively like super tired, it happens. But, that would happen to me all the time. I'm also the type of person where if I like tried pulling an all-nighter or something, I'm like, yeah, super excited for an all-nighter. And then like 2 or 3 p.m. or 2 or 3 a.m. comes around. I'm like, what are we going to fucking do for the next 5 or 6 hours?
Look, that's me right
I just
now.
want to fucking sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're up past your bedtime right now.
Unless I'm drinking. Like when I went to visit Billy, we stayed up till what? Fucking 12 or 1 a.m. And it was just because we were it was just because we were just drinking. We were drinking.
Shooting the shit and drinking.
And then,
Well, when we went to go
Dueling on
visit
YouTube.
Billy together, there's a point where Billy and I just threw on this guy playing Phasmophobia and went, let's just fucking go to sleep.
Well, that's when Billy was on his grind for streaming. That motherfucker did not want to let go of the stream.
Hey man,
I
gotta
told
give the people
you
what they want.
early you were gonna burn out.
Hey, I
And
went a
you
whole year. That's
didn't
not
listen.
burnout.
That's burnout. That's
a whole year, and then
I
a
said
6-month reconstruction period.
A reconstruction period, he says. Fuck, man.
And now look at you, 500 subs down, and
It's. I came back. I think my peak for subs was like 30 something because of gifted, but average was about 20 something, and I'm still at like 13 to 16.
how many? What's your average views now?
Well, let's see.
I'm gonna say 6.
Last night I had my peak at like 9, but my average, let me check. I want to say my average is between like 4 or 5.
What's your all-time highest?
My all-time highest?
Yeah.
Oh God.
A couple hundreds, right?
Actually, more. I think I've got one with 1,000s, and that one was recent because I got rated by a super popular Conquer's Blade streamer.
Telling you, man, you gotta find your niche communities. That's why if I ever go into streaming, it's gonna be fucking Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac is a niche community that like they all watch each other's shit.
Is it though?
Sites.
Is it really?
Genomics.
Shut the fuck up, see. All right.
we used to we used to say some shit to each other constantly to piss each other off, and we would go through like these phases. Like
We say shit to piss each other off all the time.
no, but I mean like the same thing though. So, for example, this was like junior year, I think, because we were playing Modern Warfare 3. And I would say your mom, and then whatever else with it. So like, for example, there's this kid in our team that was just being really annoying, and his name was like Sniped You or something like that, and I would just be like, your mom sniped you. I would just say stupid shit like that all the time to annoy Brad, and then Brad was combating me with the easy button.
That was easy. I hated you saying your mom because it wasn't to me, but it was to other people, and I'm like, nobody finds that funny, Z. Shut the fuck up. And in turn, everyone found it funny because you're making me mad.
Good times. Good times.
I'm gonna get that easy button again.
And then I see the fucking movie This Is the End, where Jay was trying to, exercise Jonah's character, and just like, the power of Christ compels you. Power of Christ compels you. Yeah. Does it, Jay? I'm not feeling really compelled right now. So like ever since then I'm like, does it though? Does it really? I went through a phase where I would just respond with that to everyone for a good minute.
Is it though? Do they though? Oh god, I hate it.
Being annoying. Juan oh Juan.
Oh, fun.
Juan oh Juan. But anyways, boys, if you guys have nothing else to say, this has been the
You
Mere
have nothing
Nonsense
else to say.
podcast. And Brad's yawning.
Check out r/old ladies baking pies.
It's our subreddit. We started it.
Deuces.